Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Action Comics issue 521. Now, as you know, this issue is meant to feature the first appearance of Vixen, who did appear in Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and the Arrowverse, and so on. And the story is meant to feature her first appearance in Action Comics. Originally, she was meant to have a first appearance in her own series, which never got off the ground. And the cover mainly has Vixen taking on Superman, and let's get on the story. It starts off with Vixen going into Metropolis at night. We see her going into a shipment factory, which are delivering furs, saying, "It wasn't for the overtime pay, I'd quit this job. Yeah, hurrying furs from one warehouse to the other in the middle of the night ain't my idea." And so we see how Vixen shows up with her animal-like abilities, and we see how Superman hears something going on and leaves after helping out a fundraiser. We see Superman doing some investigating where the crewmen are shocked but still okay, and helps to kind of recover the fur. And says, "Those men are stunned, not hurt. Scanning the streets ahead with my X-ray vision, I think I found her." And so plans to drop off the shipment into the sea, and we see Superman rushing in time to stop it from crashing and the furs getting destroyed. So we see Superman saying, "What in Rao's name?" And we see how, since Vixen's amulet is linked to magic, Superman is made vulnerable. But of course, manages to take down Vixen, but fails to save the fur. And of course, manages to rescue the van, but the owner, the mole, isn't happy, saying, "Ruined! All of them! Hopefully ruined! Have you any idea how much these furs cost? I can't imagine, mister." And of course points out how much everything cost. We see how one of the officers points out there's more truths about him than there is, and that he has been doing underground poaching. So Superman leaves saying, "And I'll let you know." And of course we see at the Galaxy broadcast building how Morgan Edge points out the next story is going to be in India, and of course we see how the guy points out, known as Solomon, points out about the news articles about the poaching and how the fashion industry is just using animals and that for fashion, even though it's kind of causing the animals to go extinct. And we see how Lana Lang and Clark go into India, and we see how Superman sees one of the people Solomon's with, which turns out to be Vixen, known as Maury McCabe. And of course they go into kind of knowing that they're going to let the people know their story. And of course we see how in India, Lorna Rang is in the marketing place and gets into the Jeep and out without Clark. And of course we see how the mole says, "Looks like it's a good thing I was forced to come here to overcome operations. That woman down there is Lana Lang, a TV reporter. And if she's here for the reason I think she is, it may be necessary to take a hand in her elimination." And we see Vixen heading off onto the transport, which Clark sees, saying, "Great Scott, it's her!" And of course manages to find cover and quickly changes into Superman. And we see how Superman uses his telescopic vision to find that Maury McCabe is on top of the Jeep. And we see how the mole plans to cause a stampede by shooting one of the elephants in the butt. And of course, Superman later learns from Vixen the truths about the mole and what's really going on, and rushes in to help. And of course, we see how they find the Tiger operations and the poachers, but of course they hear a sound, which ends up with a stampede of elephants. So we see Superman managing to calm down the leader, and managing to keep the elephants under control. We see how the mole ends up getting defeated by Vixen and ends up being quickly defeated. And we see Molly saying, "And you? Me? No thanks, lady. I give up." And of course, we see Superman dropping off Lana Lang and the guys, and seeing that Vixen left a little gift. And yeah, this is the story of Vixen. So what do I think of this issue? I think it's not great, and I think Vixen's origin feels a bit generic. Again, the thing about comic books back in the 80s and 70s, any character with a simple origin would do. And keep in mind, we've had better writers like Greg Weisman, or basically anyone who can come up with a good origin story can come up with something good for Vixen. But I think the story still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.